And now it's finally time to get to the last segment of the game. We are now finally going to start Chapter 6. This is where the game starts pulling out all of the more or less dick moves. Because they start putting out about 14 kajillion armored guys for you to kill. I don't really have a problem with them since I'm mainly using the L-Hawk to basically one-shot everyone, but when you're playing through this the first time, it is not fun, because using whatever weapon you happen to use, for me, which would be the M92, in order to hit their exposed parts, is rather annoying to certainly say the least, which is why every playthrough after that, I basically just run through with the L-Hawk to basically say, fuck you to their armor, since the L-Hawk has piercing, and pretty much no matter what, as long as the bullet actually hits them, you'll be just fine. So as you can see here, it's really helping out a lot since I can basically just hit them even in their armored spots and it'll still go through. This first part is all about being really fast with your shots because otherwise they're going to be able to get a lot of free shots on you that will ultimately ruin your day. There is going to be a mutation, a Las Plagas guy who comes up from this ladder, so you're going to need to get the preemptive on him. I'm going to speed up this because it's a little bit boring. So we just hit that, head all the way through, and hopefully Chris won't get stuck on this ladder this time. Like every single time, he always... Yes, he will. Alright, now this is a pretty dangerous segment when you're going through this the first time, because either you or your partner, or if you're doing this on co-op, it's whoever gets there first will get stuck. But if you're playing this on single player, it will always be you who gets stuck outside. But then again, now that I think about it, if you're a computer player got stuck outside and you inside, that'd be a really rough position to be in. So pretty much just go alternating back and forth between the two spawn points for the enemies and shoot them with your magnum whenever you can. When this guy mutates, just shoot him with the rocket launcher as you always have been. Grab the key card, and then you're going to need to run your butt all the way back. Just quickly shoot up there, and then you can make your way through. Put in the key card and get through the door. Now there's going to be a guy who tries to come out of nowhere on the right side, so you're going to need to be aware of him. He definitely caught me off guard a couple times. Shoot that guy up there while you're still on the bottom, because if you try to take him out while you're climbing up that ladder, or right after you climb up that ladder, you're going to take a stun rot to the face. And on professional mode, even with the melee vest, that's instant dying mode, and your partner in no way, shape, or form is going to be able to help you. There's also going to be a guy over here on the right side, so shoot him quickly with the L-Hawk. I don't think I've ever gotten tagged by him since he's never seen me before this, so it won't be that big of a deal. Of course, this might have actually been a little bit of a silly mistake. You should actually wait a little bit just to make sure that all the enemies are dead down there before raising that, because sometimes I have had it where Chris would get hit by something as I was lifting that up. So just be a little careful with that. And then once you raise that, just make your way back over here so you can get back to over to where Chris is. Have both of you pick a side. I usually jump over to the other side. That way I can shoot those two big man Majinis without worrying about anything. And then, Chris, why'd you jump down? Seriously. Now, there's going to be a dog who comes out of a canister. Right above there, actually. There we go. So be careful about him, because he sometimes caught me off guard while I was trying to make my way down. There's also going to be a dog right there waiting for your partner when he comes around that corner. So make sure that you take the preemptive on that and shoot him so that he doesn't nail your partner. Then make it to the team door, and there you go. That's pretty much the hardest segment of this level done. Or at least for me personally, that's easily the hardest part of the entire level. Especially right at the very beginning, because there are so many enemies with stun rods that just rush out at you that it becomes very easy in order to take damage. And on a few recent playthroughs, I have had it where Chris would literally be standing right next to me and he wouldn't be able to get to me in time. Now for this segment, I'm going to be skipping the entire alarm sequence. Now this is very particular. You need to kill these enemies in a specific order. Basically just kill them in the same order that I did here, and then just use the rocket launcher to get this last guy over there. There's a guy hiding out behind this wall, so he could potentially hit the alarm when you don't want to. There's also going to be one guy who quickly comes out from the little hatch that you go down a little bit later. So once you manage to hit him, you don't need to take your time anymore like I am. Just jump down the hatch, and then the enemies will spawn as normal. So before you turn around each corner, just hit the wall and just make sure you kill all the enemies as you come around. That guy always explodes, so if you need to make sure of something, then do... Oh, God. There's also going to be another mutation after this guy. Ooh, he dropped a flash grenade. I probably should have picked that up if I had room, because then you can just throw it at this guy who's going to come down the ladder. But since I have infinite rocket launcher, we're just going to get rid of him that way. This would be a good spot to bring in some flash rounds with the grenade launcher, I guess, but that would cost an inventory space when you can just use the infinite rocket launcher. It solves the problem just as well. Yeah, there's nobody over there, but I didn't know that at the time, so just kind of fired off a safety rocket just to be sure. Gatling gun Magini, no problem. Just shoot him with a rocket. Granted, I could have shot him with both of our magnums, but what's the point in that when I can just shoot it with a rocket and everything just goes by so much smoother that way? Just grab those 2 key cards, make your way back over here to the door. Now this rocket launcher part, I've never died to it, although I have had a few close calls. Like right there, I basically should have gotten tagged by one of those 2 rockets. Which one I should have gotten tagged by, I'll leave that to you guys, but probably because I actually shot one out of the air. But now that they're all dead, it's just a straight shot to the finish. So I'm just going to make my way over there, and there you go. That's it, level's over. So overall, this is actually a pretty easy level. I mean, the only really particularly hard segment is right at the very beginning. So if you screw up early on, it's fairly easy to just restart and try again. After that, it's all just a matter of knowing which enemies to take out when, and then from there, it's basically just an easy straight shot to the finish. Granted, I did have a little bit of a close call all the way at the end with those rocket launchers, but as long as you just run over to the right at the beginning, which I should have done, I would have been fine, and I wouldn't have had any chance of getting hit by them. So yeah, that's 6-1. Next time we'll be having a little bit of a breather level, and then after that, it's just 6-3, and oh man, 6-3 is going to be awful when we get there. But that's the end of that, so I'll see you guys for the next level. See you then. One thing that I apparently supremely missed, and I didn't find out until later, was that it's actually possible to skip the entire cage sequence where you and your partner, or your partner actually, gets stuck, and you have to go out and free them. This ladder that I skipped at the beginning, if you climb up it, there are going to be a couple guys over here on this little bridge up top. But that guy that is near the panel that you have to use in order to raise the actual cage itself, if you shoot that guy, the cage actually won't drop. So when you finally make it over to this particular part over here, you can just walk straight across. So if you want to completely bypass that segment, there you go. That's the way to do it. You also get a topaz for doing it if you shoot those 2 guys up top of the bridge. So yeah, that was just a little stupidness on my part. So if you guys want an easier time, that's the way to do it.